All right. Here we go. Y'all, let's give it up. Give it up for our winners. Whew. Oh, wait. Okay. First off, oh my goodness. Y'all gonna hate me, but I gotta go grab my book. I love y'all. In the middle of the stream. What the heck? Where's my book? Listen, we did it, and I just want to say that it was a blessing, okay? It was a blessing to be able to witness such amazement. I was very, very happy to see that Amaya has won. Listen, if my light is too bright, then go ahead and put some shades on. Quote, unquote, Amaya. But y'all, season 7 was amazing. Like, I really enjoyed actually watching season 7. At first, I was a little skeptical about this season and what was to come. You know, we had a lot of Olandria fans out there, but at the end of the day, true love always wins. I just felt like Amaya and Bryan's like connection was just so real. And a lot of people doubted it. A lot of people didn't feel like they were real. And when Ace and Shelly went home, I really just felt like, wow, who do we have left? Like, is there anyone left that's going to actually like win the show? And yo, just to see that Amaya and Bryan won, like, I wish I could show y'all. Actually, I am going to show y'all some of the reactions from tonight when we were, what do you call it, at the watch party. But yeah, so the episode started off with, you know, just the couples waking up. What was it? They were waking up. This was pretty much their last, like, full day in the villa, and this was the day that everybody was going to get to go on dates. I did like watching Nick and Olandria's date because I felt like they needed that date to kind of see a little bit more deeper into each other, whether it's romantically or a friendship, or really just to get away from the villa. Because at this point, when we was at this watch party, everybody was screaming and cheering, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, y'all doing all that, but they're not gonna win. I generally felt like Nick and Olandria were just friends. I didn't see anything more to them. I didn't feel like there was anything more to them. And when they were on the beach, like kissing and all that stuff, I was just like, okay. I don't even, like, it wasn't given, and they didn't really even make out like that. Like, they kissed a few times, and I think that was for production reasons. But as I watched the show, I just felt like I could just see that Nick cares about what his family thinks. But I also just feel like Nick just like, I'm gonna make it to the end. We're gonna be in the finals. Let's make it count. Let's put on a show. And that's what Nick did. He put on a show, and it was really good to see that he put this show on for everybody. But at the same time, y'all, it wasn't happening. But they had their date, and as they were walking on the beach, they were opening like different like bottles that had letters from fans and people just rooting for them. Nick read a letter from his dad, and you know, it was nice to see that a lot of the guys aren't afraid to show their emotions, especially Nick. And when I seen that Olandria got a letter from her sisters, I was like, oh my goodness, I would cry also if that was my sisters writing me a letter and I've been gone for 6 weeks. Like, I think it was just a nice moment. Then you had Iris and Pepe go on a date. I didn't know what this was. This date, it made no sense to me. I don't understand why they had this date. Like, they were on a boat. They had a little boat day, and it was cute. I like the fact that they both talk about the outside world together. I still feel like Pepe wants to be with Hannah. She's waiting for him, to be honest. I even think Sierra's waiting for Nick, to be honest. Like, Sierra quoted something saying like she's really excited that Nick and Olandria found each other, and she wishes them nothing but the best, and that's great and all, but Sierra, we know you want that man, okay? I know you want that man, Sierra. And then fast forward to Huda and Chris. It just pained me to watch Chris constantly trying to figure things out with Huda. It shocked me when he hit her a few times in the head with the pillow. The one time he hit her in the head, damn near knocked her nose off, okay? But it was sad to watch Huda in these final moments, especially like the night before the last day. And she's literally like tapping Chris, like, wake up. You know, I want to talk to you. If you don't wake up, I'm going to be upset. And all this craziness she was saying to this man. And I'm just like, girl, give it a break. Give it a rest. I don't understand why you on this man's back. If you don't turn around, I'm going to count to 3. You're going to count to 3 for this man to wake up. Make it make sense. Like, let's be honest. He don't want nothing to do with you. You keep trying to force this physical interaction with him for what? At the end of the day, Chris tried. I would definitely say Chris tried 100%. You know, he did not hold back, to be honest. And at the same time, Huda just wasn't ready for that. I don't know if Huda, again, just wanted to have intercourse with Chris or she wanted to be romantic with Chris, but it was showing none of that. And the crazy part about it is the fact that she still refused to kiss this man and goes to bed and tries to get him or guilt trip him, emotionally manipulate him into laying with her was beyond me. Literally, that was so beyond me that she even still tried to do that. I think it's a little crazy as well when you had like Bryan and even Ace before he got let off the show, basically saying like, keep trying with her. Like, no, don't keep trying with her. Stop telling this man you try with her. I get it, Bryan, you're a lover boy, but you gotta understand when somebody is reciprocating that energy. You have somebody, you have Amaya. You won your Cinderella, okay? He don't got that. So the fact that y'all kept trying to get this man to work on things, no. And it was like no one really was honest with Huda except for Amaya. Amaya literally told Huda and Iris and Olandria when they were in the room, like, what if the roles were reversed? What if Chris only wanted to have intercourse with you and wasn't showing you affection? You cannot ask this man for affection and you're totally ignoring everything that he's saying. You interrupt him. You don't let him express himself. You literally kick this man down when he's already down. And I just was like, I am over it. So when they had their date, I expected nothing less. Did y'all expect anything less? Because I expected nothing less. I expected nothing less from seeing Huda with, seeing Huda with Chris. Like, not for nothing, Chris, you did everything right. And I feel like at this point, Chris was just giving Huda an out. Like, I'm going to just sit here, we're going to pop this bottle, and I'm going to ask you, what do you want to do? Okay? Because it don't matter what I want to do anymore. Because even when he was talking, every time she tried to interrupt, I'm like, be quiet. Just be quiet. Shut your mouth. Let this man speak. Like, and I get it. Like, you have emotions and you have something to say, perfectly fine. But let him speak. Let him get it out. It's like he's been holding back so much. And you have not allowed this man to do that one thing. And the one thing that he allowed her to do was make the decision. Are we friends? Are we lovers? What do you want to do after this? I'm going to be long distance. Clearly, there's something I can't give you, and there's something you can't give me. So what are we doing here? Cut it off. That's what we're doing. Chop it up. Next. I was so over it. I'm like, what are we doing with this? This storyline has to be over. But you know what? It was like the perfect date for the perfect ending. Okay? You had the lady up on the top doing a song, and the song literally was like two worlds drifting apart. Why does Love Island do that? I don't even understand why they pick certain music, but Chris took his shoes off, went up into that water, and started walking off. Then he came back, because I think he had to take a second for himself. He came back to the water, and Huda was crying. He's like, what are you crying for? You broke things off. It's just a lot for me, X, Y, and Z. And I just feel like they had every opportunity, and not for nothing, he literally told her, like, I've been waiting for you to say this. Like, I already knew. He knew she only wanted to be friends with him because she wasn't kissing him. She thought she was about to get quick friends with benefits from him, move along how she was moving, and think everything was going to be peaches and cream. Not for nothing. I don't think there was anything in the cards for Huda. She didn't try to change. She kept trying to change other people. And it was just like, what are we doing? I just feel like, no, she has every opportunity, right? Every opportunity to stick up for herself, to change, to see people for who they are, and she just did not do that. She let Jeremiah slip away by the wayside, and she did the same thing with Chris. So by the time Chris was like, yo, you ready to go? She's like, are you gonna carry me? Why would he carry you? Why? This is not your fairy tale ending. Like, I do believe Huda will find somebody for her, but it's not Chris. Like, it's just not Chris. And the fact that it was like a movie watching, okay? Chris deny Huda. Like, yo, at what point are we gonna put a foot down to all of this nonsense? And he's like, no, take your shoes off and you can walk in the water, and we're gonna walk our way back to this villa, because I'm not carrying you. I'm not carrying this relationship on my back. I am done. I'm ready to go home. And that's exactly what happened. And then my favorite couple, y'all, my favorite couple won. And I already had a feeling they were going to win, okay? Because the whole setup vibe was giving Cordell and Serena. When they had their date, it was kind of like sitting, it looked like a little living room kind of date with like a little dance floor. And you walk up, they had a record player, they had a Kodak camera, and it was a photo album. Now, originally, I thought the photo album was for them to just put pictures in there. I thought it was pictures of them, just them together. And then when you open the photo album, it was them as babies, like Amaya and her brothers, Bryan just chubby cheek self. Like, it was just so beautiful to look at this journey that they've had, where they came from, and literally where they're going. They took a picture for the end, and, you know, Bryan basically just telling Amaya, like, I just want to make you happy, basically. Amaya's like, when I'm with you, I don't cry. And there's no sad tears. It's all joy. And she felt like the Dominican Cinderella. And it was just like, oh my goodness, if he doesn't, I was praying for him to ask Amaya to be exclusive, okay? So the fact that Amaya did decide to be exclusive with Bryan, I was just like, yo, this is what love is supposed to look like. This is amazing to watch them. I am so proud of their journey. It was just like literally watching a movie. They danced, the fireworks went off, and, you know, if anyone doubted their relationship, get out of here. Talk to you later. Because it doesn't matter. They killed it. They went to the end. A couple of other things that I really liked. Amaya's like, it's like she found her perfect glass slipper. Bryan gives her reassurance. He lets her know she's pretty. And he wants to, and they just want to make each other happy. And Amaya said, if my light is too bright, then put your sunglasses on or something. And Bryan basically says there was a silver lining. He was one of the luckiest people in the world being with Amaya. And then when they got back to the villa, this is just how I knew they were meant to be, okay? Everybody else, when they came back to the villa, you had one person sitting on one side with the boys, another one with the girls. Everybody was telling their individual stories of their date and how it went, X, Y, and Z. What I loved about Amaya and Bryan is that they sat together and talked about their date, okay? They held hands, they talked about the baby pictures, they talked about the experience. Sorry, y'all, we kind of timed out. But that literally showed the beauty in it all. That showed they were meant to be together. And I was just so happy watching them, honestly. And it was crazy because Huda in that moment wanted to tell, actually, yeah, in that moment, Huda wanted to tell her and Chris we're no longer dating anymore, blah, 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 blah. Okay, like, cool. It's all right. It's okay. Because when they walked up from the dock, you would have thought they seen a ghost, okay? And it was just funny, too, watching Bryan and Nick basically say to Chris, you smiling so hard, it seems like it hurt. And Chris was not smiling. Chris was defeated. Chris was over it. But Amaya and Bryan, like, I just knew that was it. That was they were the winners. And I don't know if production told them they were the winners, but you can tell they won. And outfits, listen. The men cleaned up nice, okay? Only person I really liked was Bryan. He cleaned up nice. That man cleaned up good, okay? But the girls, okay, I don't know. Huda's dress, banging. The body was popping. Like I said, she did her big one coming out there after all of that. So they just had to make sure she looked good. And before like the end, the girls went on like a R&R. Amaya thought it meant Rolls Royce. Listen, I didn't know what R&R meant either. Okay, I thought it meant something else. But then I was like, oh, okay, rest and relax. I get it, or relax and rest, whatever. They had a spa day, and the scene with Olandria and Amaya, I kind of figured they was going to be the last two in the bottom. There were just certain parts that I think production already knew who won, where they were filming it a certain way. Hence why Amaya and Bryan's date was the longest out of everybody's, like literally the longest. So you kind of already knew who was going to win. But yeah, back to like the final exit. It was Chris up first. He goes and gets Huda. Why Huda dodged his kiss, barely wanted to hold his hand. It's just like, this is why we didn't vote for you. Because you're just showing out. Like, you look great, but you're showing out. Then you had Pepe and Iris. Y'all, Pepe and Iris looked good. I'm going to leave Amaya and Bryan for last, a second. But Pepe and Iris, Pepe was all right. But Iris, oh, that girl ate down with the silver dress, silver earrings. She looked good. I said whoever styled Iris knew exactly what they were doing, okay? So I just love seeing them. I love seeing that. And then you had Amaya and Bryan. It was giving quinceañera, sweet 16, my wedding rehearsal dress. The girl ate down, okay? She just looked like Cinderella. Like the pink dress, her hair was slicked back. She was just giving beauty and maturity, and I just love to see it. And y'all, let me take a... Can we talk about Olandria? Come close. Can we talk about Olandria? Why they put that dress on Olandria? I said, oh no. She looked like a croissant. Why y'all put that dress on her? Y'all could have picked any dress and y'all picked that, and then y'all went ahead and put that bandana print on Nick. Why would y'all do that to him? That tux was not it at all. I didn't like it. I was confused, and I was just like, can we hurry this process up? When it was time for the words, y'all, I don't know what Pepe and Iris said. All I heard was thank you and Rhodes and something else. They were cool. And then when it came down to Chris and Huda, I think overall Huda was able to kind of see herself in a different light. I think overall, I'm being nosy. I think overall Chris and Huda just had the opportunity to just tell each other how they felt. And you know what? They were friends. That's just what it was. That's how they made out. And at the end of the day, it worked out for them. And they left with no bad blood. And you know what? It's okay. Because I was just praying they didn't win. Like, I don't think production would have let them win at all. I think production would have been like, let's wrap this up. Like, tomorrow. Okay? And then I just want to say for Nick and Olandria. Okay, Nick and Olandria. For me, when you hear Nick talk about Olandria, you talk about the friendship. You talk about how they'll be everlasting friends. They'll be best friends. I don't doubt Olandria's not going to go over there for Thanksgiving because you invite your friends to Thanksgiving all the time. I don't think it will hurt them to just stay friends. Like, I don't see why we have to force this romantic couple on them. And honestly, towards the end, they weren't really kissing as much either. And I just feel like Nick kind of came to terms that they are getting ready to leave the villa. And at this point, what's the point of faking the funk anymore? Because that's what I felt like he was faking. Do I think he finds her attractive? Of course. Do I think he found a good friend in her? Of course. Do I think Olandria actually likes him? Of course. But at the same time, this is the people that they've in the finals with, so why not ride this out with that person and make the best of it? And that's just what I seen. So their words to each other were really kind, really nice, loved it. But Bryan and Amaya almost, listen, they almost made me shed a tear. Okay, it was just so amazing for Amaya to be able to read those words to Bryan and make him feel like the man on top. I think she was able to actually see her journey through her words as well. You know, when he stood up for her at that fire pit, I said that fire pit is going to be the staple of their relationship for sure. Somebody need to donate them a fire pit, okay? I just think it was just amazing. Like, when I say amazing to see, it was amazing. Like, what else are we doing? What else are we doing? And I just think that it was just meant to be. And I love the way that Bryan talks about Amaya. And he just loves her energy. She gets the zoomies. I'm like, I get the zoomies too. I just love Amaya, okay? Y'all know by now, I love Amaya. And again, it's her energy. It's like she just keeps things fun. She wants to keep things fun. She wants to keep her partner entertained. She loves her friends. She gives great advice. And I know she's just an amazing nurse as well. She's, in my mind, it seems like she's hardworking. She works for her family. And she cares about what her family thinks as far as just making them proud. Like, I don't think it has anything to do with the people that she decided to date or whatever. I think it's more so about making them proud because they did do a really good job. You know, I learned that her mom had her at 19. That's a lot. That's a lot. She has 2 brothers, and they're both just really family oriented. And just watching that scene between them two, it was just like literally watching a movie. And I would not have wanted anybody else to win other than Bryan and Amaya. When it was time to say who was to win, I was just like, why are they taking forever to tell the people who won? Stop playing with us and tell us who won. Like, I just felt like with Bryan and Amaya, it's like it was just meant to be. The fireworks, she took Bryan's hand, ran around the villa. I was scared at first. I was a little nervous. I thought Nick and Olandria was going to win because even when we was in a watch party, y'all, when we was in a watch party, you had people literally yelling about Bryan and Amaya, like screaming. I mean, for them, but for Nick and Olandria, they were screaming. They were, yeah! And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, everybody had voted for Nick and Olandria. Like, Nick and Olandria is going to win. I don't want Nick and Olandria to win. No, what are we doing? So when when Amaya and Bryan actually won, everyone got quiet. I had one girl up in the watch party, like, literally trying to intimidate me by voting for Amaya and Bryan. I'm like, girl, like, chill. Like, she was putting her hands in my face and all this, and I'm just like, it's okay. Every time Nick and Olandria came on the screen, everybody was screaming and yelling. I'm like, we can't even hear the show because y'all are literally screaming about a couple that can't hear you. They can't hear you through the screen. Yes, show your emotions, all that, but y'all gotta bring it down a notch. But yeah, and some people seen that Bryan and Amaya won before the episode started, so you know she got quiet. Hands got real still after that, and I was screaming and celebrating. And I said, I don't care what nobody thinks because at the end of the day, Bryan and Amaya deserve to win, and that's just that. Now let me know your thoughts, okay? But yeah, those are just my little thoughts. I'm just so happy that they won. I'm excited to see what happens after. I think they said the reunion was the 25th of August or like September 1st or something. I don't know what they said, but I was like, that's a long time. We gotta wait that long for a reunion. So I am excited. I know tomorrow or even tonight they probably already started dropping interviews that they had. And you know, pray for me, but I did reach out to Taylor to see if I can get an interview with him. So we'll see what happens, but I don't know. I'm just so excited for the couples. Like, I do want to see like a spinoff. They're gonna have their reunion in New York, and I think they're having the reunion in New York because a majority of the couples, no, everybody did go to New York last year too, so I'm just excited. I hope like next year they do like summer in New York beyond the villa instead of like LA to kind of give a different vibe, and we get to follow their journeys. And I think if they do beyond the villa, we'll have Ace and Shelly, Clark and Taylor, Amaya and Bryan. I think Huda might make a few appearances. They'll probably try to hook her up with some people. Who else? I don't know. I'm just thinking of like who else they would try to hook somebody up with, but I'm just excited to see. Let's kind of go to Twitter to see what Twitter is talking about for a second. Oh, this is not the screen. Oopsies. Are we stuck? Are we up? 1 second. I think we're stuck. Okay, we're not going to be able to see that. Boo. Yeah, we're stuck. Either way, a few things on Twitter right now. Lush Lena, if not cuddling with me is worth me being upset tomorrow, something is really wrong. Huda, like she needs therapy, not a boyfriend. If y'all agree, like the live, because I definitely feel like she just needs therapy. I wish her the best, but her being on Love Island was just not it. Like, I think it literally screwed up her mental. Amaya got her money and her man. Nick and Olandria got their rom-com ending. Huda and Chris crashed and burned, and Iris and Pepe were there. Very karmic season finale. Lovely stuff. Love it. From Amaya Hive, Amaya won Love Island, F.U. Ace, F.U. Zach, F.U. Austin. Oh my goodness. I love them. I love Amaya. From Notes to Jesse, y'all really let Chris and Huda go to the Fianllys over a real couple just for them to break up? I mean, we need the dramatics, right? It wouldn't make sense to have all the lovey-dovey couples. I think everybody would have been on edge. I think they needed some drama, and they kept Huda to the end because she is the drama, and everybody wanted to figure out if she was ever going to let Chris kiss her, and she did not. So, you know, that's just it. I thank y'all for tuning into this live. I just wanted to come on here and express my excitement. I want to express my gratitude for everybody who tuned in to my reactions and recaps and lives and all the great things that we were doing with this finale in season 7. It was definitely hard because you have to keep up with this every day, and we don't stop here. We're gonna have some reviews and all that good stuff from Beyond the Villa because of course season 6 was my fave, but Bryan and Amaya takes the cake for me. They take the cake when it comes to romance, the fairy tale ending, and just being able to understand like love can happen sooner than you think, and as long as you put your whole into it, you'll get the full cake at the end. I think that's something Amaya would say, because that's how I feel. You put all the ingredients in, then you'll get the full cake at the end. Right there. Okay, bye you all. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, that's it. I will see y'all in the next video. And subscribe, like, and comment below.